All right, here we go. Hi, I'm Austin Eartham.
And I'm Taylor Patton, and welcome to the Kitchen Table Podcast.
We're here to motivate, educate, and relate to you guys, sharing our stories, helping you to get 1% better in all areas of your life. Today we're going to be talking about reality and how a lot of people, including ourselves, create a false sense of reality. We're going to share some stories we've had in the past and how we tried to cope with them in order to have more of a real sense of reality and kind of get out of our fantasy lands. And we'll give you guys some tips on how you can do that as well. Again, by no means do we know everything, but we can only share our own stories and hopefully impact at least one of you. Again, thanks for all the listens, comments, stuff like that.
Yeah, appreciate it a lot. Appreciate the feedback that we continuously get, the support. It honestly means a lot to us, and that more than like really we can like verbally like explain.
Yeah, this is definitely the best part of our day. When we sit down and do this. Yeah. Even after a long day, we usually we record this the night before. We just got going live, and it's a long day, but it's so fun.
Right. On that, sorry, I just don't know how much our voice is being picked up on that.
On the webcam?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's another obstacle.
Yeah.
Okay. We got so many cameras right now. We got the paparazzi. You should take a picture of this, honestly, with my phone.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna do that right now, actually. Yeah. It's so funny.
I just wish we knew how it played back to us, you know. Yeah, so we're just gonna go right into news and all that.
Talk about our guest stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna continually having guests on it. We're gonna try and shoot for every other week for sure.
Yeah. 1440 would like to have a guest
every week, if not every other week. It all just depends on schedules and what's going on in the world, of course. Again, we're loving the new segment. We've heard a lot of great comments back and a lot of good feedback, so we're excited to continue that.
Honestly, don't know if we've heard a bad comment about the idea, at least. I mean, we can always work on making it better, but honestly, credit to you for that. That was really your idea, which is awesome. Love it.
I'm just greatest man out here, you know?
Yeah, something like that.
Again, yeah, so that's going on. I don't know any other news.
That's it, really, for this week.
Yeah.
We'll put the YouTube links if it works. We'll put the YouTube links up this week as well. We only got a couple listens on that, but again, if you can leave comments on there, like, subscribe, etc., you know the drill. That would really benefit us a lot, and we would really appreciate your feedback, really good or bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to get better too.
This is kind of, sorry, this is going to be off topic for a second. Well, no, it's on topic, but I really wish we should just done a quick run through our screen, exit it, and then see how it sounded. Kind of like how we do on our. Yeah,
it's all right. We got it on the phone.
It'll be fine. I guess it'll be fine. It'll be all good.
It's no big deal.
For sure. Yeah.
So let's go. Last week we had Captain Nate Hager on.
Yeah, that was awesome. Have him on and have him be here.
His challenge, though, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
About just really reflecting on who you are.
Yeah.
And where you can be better, where you're doing well, and kind of what's next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking ownership of our own actions, essentially. Do you think you did that?
Yeah. So taking ownership. So this past week has been a weird week for me. I feel like I was kind of like in a content state of mind. I want to say I felt like I was just in a blur. I want to say I didn't feel like I was pushing myself in anything. I was kind of just there. It was plateaued. I'd say that's how I'd say. I plateaued. I didn't have fuel and motivation, and I feel like I just couldn't get myself motivated to really over deliver on anything that was going on. And I felt that throughout the week, and that's something I kept owning in that, because I knew it wasn't there. And it's something I couldn't figure out. I couldn't get through it. So that was something that I had to continuously keep track of, and I had to keep rooting back why I felt like that. And it was kind of and that, because I feel the last few weeks in that I kept saying this is the best part. This is everything. This is everything I've been wanting, and all that. and then I just like plateaued last week. I just felt like I wasn't motivated, and so that was a challenge for me, is just be able to work backwards and be able to figure out the core root of that. I think that's what it was. I just felt like I had plateaued. Like I had progressed so much. It's kind of like the stock market. Like, you know how you exponentially like increase, and then you come back down. I felt that's how I felt. I felt like I kind of had like to how like it correct itself.
Yeah,
is how I felt like I was like overextended, and now it's kind of like had a recorrection, and now we're gonna continue to make corrections throughout this week and just see what.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be honest, I feel like you're still in that correction phase.
Yeah, in that.
Like you're still kind of up and down. Nothing's going up, nothing's going down. Just kind of like figuring things out.
Yeah, and so I think that this week's gonna be a big week for me in figuring that out and moving that back up.
Wow, I can't believe I got so many thoughts off of that. I'm glad you did the challenge. That was awesome. I got so many thoughts because I was thinking this morning. I was like, what am I gonna talk about in the podcast for my week? And then I was like, I don't really have much. And then after you talking, wow, I got so much that I like didn't even consider. I was like, how does that relate to reality or taking ownership? And then you just gave me so many things. Okay.
Because actually, that was really my reality.
No, you're right.
Like that's what we're talking about this week. That was my reality. It's like I was. It's hard to describe. I was like struggling through like my work, the podcast and everything. Like I had so many, and again, I had so many ideas, so much motivation. Like not motivation, but like so many things I want to do. And the more like the podcast coming up, and then the other stuff like stocks and working out and all that. Like I had all these ideas coming up. And then like I just felt like not overwhelmed, but I
feel you on that.
I just didn't have that go, like, let's get shit done.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but let's get stuff done.
That's funny because I had been reflecting, and you know how you kind of feel like you've plateaued? I feel like this is actually 2 weeks ago, now that I really think about it, but it kind of concluded last week, I feel. So I've been gone a lot recently, and I've determined that my job makes my fitness lower and stuff. And I've just really figured out more about that, and it's just the process of what my next step is. Not sure about, but every October, ever since we started living together in college, I really had a bad October in terms of like, so I always base things off sports, right?
Yeah.
I just think it's the grind of October. Summer's over, fall's like in full swing. Really, nobody's had a so-called break. I mean, Labor Day.
Weather's changing.
Totally makes a difference. Sun's like, we go to work, sun's not up yet. Sucks.
Yeah.
And then I get out of the weight room and sun's down. And it's really, it was still kind of light out at 6:30.
Yeah.
But I feel like that as well, just like the plateau. And then I was like thinking about me and my fiance's relationship, and we both feel like something's been off lately. And we talked about why that might be. But talk about taking ownership. One of the nights I just kind of was like blew up, and I probably shouldn't have. And I was just like, it's on me basically. Like I need to get my stuff together here. So that was one extreme ownership part of it. And then the stock market, I was thinking about that tonight, walking out of the weight room. How a lot of the times we really are in that like correction phase, but life is really like up. And then you go up and down a little bit, and you go back up a little bit, and then sometimes you come all the way back down. So the more we can have progression, the better it is. Think about when we're 50, we're gonna be like, we were so dumb when we were 25.
Right.
That's how life is supposed to work.
Yeah.
But think about all this stuff. I think about everything I've learned in September, October, just about my life and where I want to go. Because then I went to adoration or whatever last Tuesday. And basically what I got out of it is I love to go to adoration just to say my prayers and then listen. Just sit and listen. And it's just so comfy. You have like, it smells good. It's warm. And it's kind of like a long day, and you sit there and just relax. But basically what I got out of it is you're still in that so-called grind mode. So keep going. And when the time's right, you'll know what the next step is to do. So that gave me a lot of peace. That was actually the night I blew up, I think. And after that, I was like, oh, that didn't go well. Right. And it really talks about like the process and taking ownership and really going off reality too. Like this is reality. Really reflecting on.
Yeah. And like that's Like, I don't know where my thought process went. It's just something I reflected on and I've been living in that the last, I'd say probably the last 5 days for sure.
I like it.
5-7 days.
And even though you're in a so-called correction phase or plateau, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. We all need those breaks. My workouts, when I got back from like doing all my trips and stuff or whatever that I had to do this fall, I was like, had one day good and it's like, uh-oh, not good. But then I built on it and now I'm feeling a lot better. And I'm going to I feel a skyrocket coming. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time. If you treat your body right, treat your mind right before you get out of that just naturally. First time you do squats, you're sore, and the next thing you know, it's like no big deal.
Yeah.
And you boost up. It's like a natural steroid. But again, it takes knowing yourself, which is awesome. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's go to, you got the quote of the week?
Yeah.
Go for it. Let's shoot.
So, quote of the week is by Naval Revikant.
You can't even read it.
I can read it. I don't know how to say it.
Oh.
There's a big difference. I can read it. I can't say it. I apologize to who that is. But yeah, he says that clever thinkers take feedback from reality, not society. And so that hits home to me, and that because I feel like so many people are attached to the authentication or like the likes and the retweets off social media. Like everyone knows about the social media and the what word am I looking for? Admiration. There we go. There's another word for it, but that's what I'm going with. Off society in that they take feedback. Like if they post something that they really care about, like if I like painting and I put a painting up and I only got like 5 likes, then I would take it down just because and this is just an example. Like I'm not a big painter and that, but just because it wasn't accepted in society per se. But to me, like in reality, like that's something I love to do. That's something I care about. Yeah, again, like that's just an example. I'm not a big painter or anything, but
yeah, I think some of the problem with reality in general is, we'll talk about getting a false sense of it a lot, but one of the biggest false senses I've realized the last few months is social media. Social media is a great source to get news, to share. You can be the Facebook mom and you only share positive stuff, right? Of your kids, whatever. But then there's also, just look at Instagram Reels. Look at it. How many people on there are just trying to get attention? Or I learned that you can literally put a camera a certain way to look better or cover something up or show something off. And it's not really who you are. You know what I mean? It's all this fake. So I think really social media gives us a large sense of false information. It's not reality a lot of the time. Because who's going to put something of them looking bad? Oh, today I don't look very good. Like it, comment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, like some people, I'd say the majority. Now, there's a few people out there that just not they don't care, they just really don't care about what other people think. Like that. That's what I'm saying. Is they really know who they are and
And that's authentic, though.
Yeah, exactly. And taking that admiration or that that feedback where people are gonna say oh, you look ugly and all that. It's whatever, because a lot of times you can't change 100% of your facial features or how tall you are and that how wide your hands is and all that stuff. So just knowing and accepting that everyone has bad days 90% of the time, or days every day. At some point they're not looking their best.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it too. Look at my look at my Instagram. It's all good pictures of me or of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get way back there, if you want to scroll far enough back. And then,
everybody's got those.
And then it's the good pictures. And then yeah, so I think it's just like a false security of like admiration. But on the other hand, like it just exposes us like who we are as a society, like
Oh, so much.
and that
Especially now that you got the content creators growing your brand, which is great. I think if you have a passion or goal to do something, I think you should definitely put it on media. It's such a large part of society, but don't be fake about it.
yeah,
Like be who you are. Don't change the camera or have to put on makeup or wear the tightest shirt you got or whatever.
or if that's who you want to be, that's who you want to be. At the same point, like on the flip of the script, like that's who it is. Like
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
right, like don't give up yourself for
yeah,
but
be who you are.
yeah, exactly. But on the flip of the script, like that's who people want to be or become. So who we like to say what it is, it's kind of just there. Like we are social media.
Yeah.
Like just because like Twitter exists doesn't mean Twitter's bad.
No, I don't think that. I don't think it is.
It's like even Twitter could exist for a million years unless we put something on there, unless we put content out. It like doesn't matter. You know, like we're the ones who expose ourselves on there. Like, or yeah, essentially, like I mean, yeah, if you go in there, to me, if you go in there just like to write a hate comment like that, that's just a reflection of like your own life more than any person's.
And going off social media, I think a lot of it is about being really just a lot of sense of false reality is trying to be a perfectionist.
For sure.
So when I was younger, this is going to sound super dumb. Maybe not, but I set such lofty goals, which I'll get to in a minute. But when I was younger, my goal was to be the best person on this earth besides Jesus Christ. Like, that's not reality.
Right.
I mean, it's a great goal to have, but I make so many mistakes every day, sin every day. It's so unrealistic. So my goal is to be basically
top 10.
yeah. No, but like being a perfectionist, like there's no way you're gonna get everything right. There's no way. My goal is to be in the NFL and never miss a field goal. That's a great goal to have. Of course, that was my goal in college, and I missed my first kick. So and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna miss one. So it's a great goal to have, and to set it high.
After you miss the first one, you're like, starting now, I won't miss another.
Yeah, so I always do that. Starting now, I won't do this again, or I'll start this starting tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Again,
like, that's how I feel like people play out.
Yeah.
That's how I play out my life too. So like
it's all false realities.
And it's kind of like it's like if you don't start now, then when?
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like like last week I felt like I fell into that a lot. Like I was like I kept saying like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow, I'll do this tomorrow, and then like
I would say the hardest step is the first one.
Yeah.
Once you get going, you say you haven't worked out in 3 years. The first workout is going to be the hardest.
Yeah.
Then it's easy for a couple of days. Then it gets hard. Okay, how can I'm sore. I've done this 3 days in a row. Can I do it again? And you keep going. Then you get to your off day, and it's like, okay, I'm good.
Because you have to continuously build momentum.
Exactly.
Which
can go both ways.
Now thinking about it, you just think, how like, okay, for my personal life, and I think this reflects in a lot of people, that like at the end of the day is like when like all your ideas come, like your brain's flowing, and that's when like you have all these big goals for tomorrow, that everything you're gonna get done. You're gonna wake up early, you're gonna go work out,
and then
you're gonna cook breakfast.
Early comes and you don't want to do it.
Exactly, because of all the momentum throughout the day that's built up into the night, and then you're like trying to continue it through the day, but you go rest, and then getting out of bed, you have to rebuild every single ounce of momentum you had at the end of the night.
That is good. You got goosebumps. That's good. I like that momentum word in there.
Yeah. And that again, like that was like something like I've reflected in like this past week is like my momentum would get going and then it would just stop at night or during towards the end of the day, like I'd fall short and then I had to rebuild myself back up the next day, like, and it just felt like I couldn't get up the hill all last week, and it was just I was in it. I was in the trenches. But
you're already. I mean, being in the trenches is where you either die or just swim or float. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're in the trenches in the war. Okay, you're in it. You're either living or you're dying. You know what I mean? And I feel like that every day. Again, I wake up and I'm like ready to get my schedule done. That's just who I am. I'm so OCD and I'm goal oriented. Okay, I'm gonna get this, and this done.
Yeah.
I'm always work then play. But
for sure.
when I get
100%.
to 2 o'clock, this
Like,
sucks. I got to go work out after this class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I have to mentally build that momentum in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got something to do at 6 o'clock. I got to get my butt moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's I need to get this workout done so I can go home and watch TV and like recharge for the next day. So I love that's so true. You got to get over that hill. Sometimes it's challenging, but again, this is why I think people need to put a timestamp on stuff. If you haven't worked out for 3 years, okay, I'm gonna work out for an hour. Once that hour hits,
it doesn't even have to be that.
Yeah,
it has to be like going to the gym.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like a time period, like to be a perfectionist. People are like, oh, it wasn't good enough. I see kids all the time kicking. They have to make their last kick. I learned from Nate Kading back in the day. He used to kick for the Chargers for like 10 or 12 seasons. That if you miss your last kick, that's okay because it makes you hungry for the next time. It's great to visualize your makes and stuff like that. Of course, you want to end on a good note, but sometimes it makes you hungry to come back. And I see so many people. I was kicking with another free agent. It was probably a year ago at this point, and he just kept kicking and kicking. He kicked like 70 balls. Like, we got to do this again tomorrow, dude. Take 30 reps and deal with it. Because you just keep going, you're just going to create a bad habit. If you're trying to be a perfectionist, to some extent, that's great, right? You want quality work, which is important. But if you keep going and it's not getting any better, all you're doing is creating bad habits. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll be perfect tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to finish this lab report, and it's got to be perfect. My brother and my dad are so perfectionist, and I'm like, just get it done. I need to be more like my mom, somewhere in the middle, you know? But being a perfectionist, I also think brings your mood down because it's never good enough.
Yeah, and it creates like a false sense of like insecurity.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you don't think you're ever good enough, but then again, there's that fine line between a lofty goal and wanting to do good versus perfectionism. You know what I mean? It's so close, in my opinion. But that's where like the positive thinking, the reflection, setting not only lofty goals, but really thinking realistically, can I reach this? I do it all the time in CrossFit. I'm so bad at it. I think I can get 4 rounds done in 10 minutes, whereas in all reality, to do one, let's say it's a couplet, okay? So let's say we're doing snatches and pull-ups. So couplet means there's 2 things, so snatches and pull-ups, and it's a lot of reps or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think I can do the snatch. I was like, I can do 10 rounds. Like, there's only 2 things, right? But the thing is there's 50 pull-ups around. It's going to take me 2 minutes just to do that. Right? So now I have 2 minutes of just one thing. Then I got to do snatches. Then I got to realize I'm going to get tired. So in 10 minutes, I literally have to do pull-ups and then do my snatches in 1 second. So if you really think about it, that's never going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So, and then again, you always go and then you get in the grind and you're tired. Like you kind of said earlier with the momentum. Your momentum's low and then it's, no way I'm getting 5 rounds in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then you got to fight that bug again. Okay, can I push and can I get 4 rounds out? Can I keep going? So setting those goals is important. That's why I loved how my brother said he sets like a huge goal, like this would be the best day. A goal that, okay, this is a good day, and I have to meet this today. Bare minimum. Mm-hmm. But then again, there's always positive and negatives about it. It takes a special person to say, hey, I've reached my minimum amount. I can do better. You know what I mean? Like you got to have that grit or motivation to do it.
I'm forgetting the word now.
Motivation.
Yeah.
To do it. Yeah. So I just think there's so many things in reality that we forget about. We just think it's black and white. Whereas really, I mean, everything we've talked about today has been about some sort of reflection into what reality needs to be. Kind of backwards how we normally talk about us.
Yeah.
But we put it in there. I just think that a lot of people live in like a fantasy land in their life, and I'm so bad at it too. I thought I was going to play soccer or football, both of them. It's still my goal to play soccer or football than soccer, then do CrossFit, all this stuff. Like I got to be realistic. That's 1 in 10 billion people that are going to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to do it. Mm-hmm. I've always struggled with trying to do it all.
Yeah.
So my fantasy land, or really my fiance and I back in the day, is like me accepting like who she is. Like that perfect girl doesn't exist. And on the flip side, I'm not perfect for her, you know? Like when we were at Nathan Brooks' wedding, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
Literally.
Almost a month ago, exactly.
Yeah. Father said the first thing he asked them in marriage prep was, what do you not like about each other?
It's a great question.
It really is. Because again, we all think.
Did you send me that?
Well, we talked about it, yeah.
I
We haven't done, like, we've only, like, signed up for marriage prep. We haven't actually done it.
Oh.
Usually you wait until you're about 6 to 8 months out.
Told you I'm free.
Yeah, he can do it for us. You probably see it every day. But I just think it's really important to think of, to be positive, but to think of the negative and how you can make that better. Or where you fall short, you know what I mean? If you're thinking everything's unicorn and rainbows all the time, or the grass is always greener somewhere, you're just making your life more miserable because you're never going to be satisfied. And I fall into that boat way too much.
Yeah. Like, you mean like continuously like starting over?
No, I mean not starting over, because I don't like.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it.
Because I would feel like.
The greener side, like you're continuously.
You mean like? Yeah.
For the greener grass.
Yeah, like, so this stock's not good enough. Okay, get rid of it, buy a new one.
Yeah.
But that would be like
this job's not good enough.
Yeah, see, I'm not.
This car's not good enough.
Yeah, I don't do that because I don't usually quit on what I'm doing. I actually struggle with that because the risk to move is really challenging for me, which we got to do a whole episode on risk, dude. That'd be a great episode for us.
I'm ready.
But I don't give up on it or quit on it. I try to make it better, if that makes sense. Like how I visualize it. Because I get something in my mind, gotta happen that way. That exact visual. I mean, you think about going on trips. I'm like, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and then it doesn't happen, and I'm like, crap. Move on, do the next one. Get to it. You know what I mean? Make the most of it. So it's a little frustrating to be me.
Yeah, I think vacation's a huge relatable topic because I feel like most people always have like a certain expectation or a certain height, and then when they get there, it's not meeting up to the pictures or like the glam of everything that they thought it was gonna be, and so then they get in a downward mindset of like this isn't as good or this and that. Like this place said more homeless people than we were told by everyone that had already been here. And so kind of like, you got to create that fine line of like, you always like people are always, like, you're always gonna have an expectation upon like things, but then like always allowing yourself to not have an expectation, or making sure that you have that mindset like if your expectation is not met, you're still gonna have a good time or find the good in it. Yeah. So that way, like your mindset's not compromised upon whatever you're doing, rather that be working out, just your day at work, traveling, the movie you're watching on Netflix, or you go to the movie theater to see it because there's a hype around it. You watch it, you're like, wow, this is a complete letdown. And then you have to leave with a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah, because I'm telling you, I get that visual. I'm so alpha, whatever, that it's like, if it's not visualized in my head and it's not perfect, it's not good enough. Which is, it's always so. Again, reality is not. It's not going to exist. I see pictures. This is what I want it to look like. Yeah. You get there and there's millions of people. Right? There's that thing on Facebook that's like what people think they see when they travel and what it's actually like. And it's like the Eiffel Tower is just swarming with people. Right. Because everyone wants to see it. Yeah, and exactly. I mean, I guess that'd be an expectation I have. It's not. I mean, all those, again, there's social media. All those images you see are cropped and they got filters on them. Right. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's easy to like just Photoshop a picture. Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying. And but yeah, you say that you like type A. I remember our first episode of our podcast is the absolute worst episode we have. Again, that's my get it done, move on, grass is greener, next episode. You're like, because I'm looking at it and it was so bad. Yeah, the quality it wasn't so bad, it was just bad. And our quality was so low. Then you're like, nope, we're putting it out. And that's like our most listened to podcast today is our first one, which makes sense. But to the end, like it just is also like our lowest quality, which sucks because people only see that low quality budget podcast. Yeah, we'll talk more about my reality. Let's take a quick ad break here. So our viewers, if they're at work, they can get going to work and listen to us on their way home here. Beautiful.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I just wish I knew.
Jeepers.
I just wish I knew on how the volume sounded on this.
We'll find out. It'll be good on.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So.
Sorry.
Yeah, I get a big false sense of reality when I have a lot to do and I just want to check things off my list. Because then I don't think I'm the opposite of perfectionism. You know, it's just like, okay, I did it, I'm done. Viewers are like, it is good enough, right? But in reality, it's not. Anytime you say in reality, you really got to think of that because you're telling yourself that you're wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, whatever. Just like you say, momentum's building. Then you sleep. Oh, I'll work out afterward. I don't need to get up today. Or I'll take the day off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, making those right decisions is hard because in reality, you're not gonna.
Right.
Right? You're always gonna mess up. But it's can you come back to that? But if you think clearly, then you're usually making the right decisions.
Yes, and you have to be. I mean, again, like you have to understand and see that and be okay with that then too. If you see that you are not making the decisions that like you have put in place or the goals you've set and you're not meeting them, like that's only because of like the decisions you made in the previous.
Yeah, and I think that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and so like that, like you have to be accountable to that reality that you are setting yourself up for.
You really got to take ownership, right?
Exactly, and that yes, because it plays back into that ownership where it really comes from your reality of the decisions you made in the past that has led you up to the present that you're living in currently.
Yeah, so back to the whole goal thing, that the present you're living in, whatever, you're setting goals to be higher, right?
Usually, yeah.
So, well, hopefully.
Yeah.
So if you don't reach those and they're out of reach, then again, you're going to start being negative. You're going to think you're not good enough. And then you're not taking ownership because it's like, what's going on? You know what I mean? If you set high goals, you need to take ownership. It's on me. And if you don't get it, you're still going to feel bad. So that's why I go back to take ownership and be okay with it. You need to set high goals, but reachable goals. Right? To say when I'm younger, I want to play in NFL and MLS or whatever, that's a great goal. Fine, go for it. But at some point, you got to be more realistic, right? Hey, I want to retire next year. Okay, let's think about this, Austin. You know what I mean? That's more you, but
one and done.
I don't want to retire. I want to work forever, dude.
You do?
Yeah.
No way.
If we could do the podcast forever.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that, to me, this is not work, though.
I've never wanted to work a day in my life then. I don't want to go to work. My career is what I never want a desk job. I just want to work out, share my experiences, travel, have a dog.
Exactly. And along with that, just creating a brand around that.
Yeah, it'd be great.
That's not working a day in my life. That's just enjoying life.
Yeah, I mean, but you get paid, so technically it's your job. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. But
or let's say you make a lot of money, you retire and you just do the podcast for fun type of deal.
Paid or not paid, it's still what I want to do.
Yeah, but at some point, if you can't retire, this is why I don't. How do I want to say this without sounding bad? To be blunt, no, I can't do that. This is why I want to continue to teach because I need
You just have that little safety net.
Yes, because I have to pay bills.
Because our safety nets are in two different spots.
That's why we also need to talk about risk because some of the stuff we're trying to get into could be great if we hit the right button.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So risk is all about, but then again, what's the reality? It's not going to happen overnight again.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times I'm looking for it to be.
Right.
And it's not.
Yeah. Because it's very relatable. A lot of things people want it to happen now, and that again, that's something I feel like we, as youngsters, have grown up into. We have the accessibility of everything's accessible, pretty much on instant.
Yeah, and if you ask a 40, 50, 60-year-old, I bet they say our generation is very instant gratification.
Yeah, which makes sense.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
In the grand scheme of things, everything's been pretty much given to us on an instantaneous basis.
And it's very accessible with technology.
Yeah.
So I get the right letters.
On top of that, I honestly think that it's going to get even more like accessible, or like instant gratification is going to come a lot faster. Like, I feel like we have it pretty quick now, but
it's going to be even worse.
In 3, 5, 10 years, it's going to be insane.
Especially when we're going to have robots doing everything and all that AI stuff.
Which is going to be then when like the next like thing is when like, and what would that be called, like automated technology.
Yeah, I think artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, AI.
Thanks for being smart.
Yeah.
Where artificial intelligence is like smarter than we are.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, still a few years down the road, I think, but I don't think it's like that far out of grasp. Like,
no, and I think that is totally realistic to go in the episode.
Yeah, exactly. And so with that, like, we have like this instant gratification of like everything around us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why all these kids fall in, like, especially younger people, fall into like get rich quick schemes and instant millionaire, like,
which is so like, it's like saying you don't go to college and you're a millionaire, although that's becoming more and more
accessible.
Yes, but
it's realistic.
My parents always said that there's no free lunch.
Right.
And that there is, the only way to do basically what you're saying is to have hard work.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, some people get lucky. Some people are just super intelligent and don't have to do it.
But like on the grand scheme of things, like everyone looks everyone looks and like points out like these like 0.1%.
Yeah, which is like 1 in a million, yeah.
Yeah. And then they like think that they can do what they
which is the trap I fall into, sports-wise.
That's what I'm saying. I think everyone falls into it in some extent of like, because someone else just in serendipity did this, did that, and their life fell in one spot and they completed one thing, or they sold a business or created an app or sold a stock or created a solution for, I don't know, understanding your mind closer.
Yeah, it really gets you like having some faith though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it gets you to believe, hey, we can invest in this thing and we're gonna make it, you know? Right. We were just talking about that earlier tonight.
Right.
In all honesty, it's a hit or miss. Like, we have no idea.
It's not no. I wouldn't say it's a hit or miss. It's just because we are, I mean, like,
amateurs at it.
Not only that, but I mean, we also been put in research.
Yeah, but we're technically not, I wouldn't call us professionals by any means.
No. I mean, I still think to be a professional, you still kind of have, you gotta have like experience in years into.
Yeah, which time helps with everything.
Yeah.
Time helps with reality too.
Exactly. Like, again, like the dude that became a million overnight because he put all his money in Doge. And that.
I don't know if that guy's a millionaire anymore.
He is.
Oh, there's a guy I saw on today that said he's no longer a millionaire, but he wants everybody to invest in Doge or something. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. But.
Yeah. No, he was as of a few weeks ago, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And but I'm gonna check up on him in a minute. But that's still, again, like, that's just kind of like he saw that wave and he just put faith in it, put in his investment, his money.
Yeah, I would say unless he's.
Because it could have went either way. So not a 50-50 because you look at charts and all that stuff.
Yeah, but so if he just threw, if we just threw money in a random stock and just said, go for it, that's not, like, that's just luck.
Yeah, or like hitting the lottery.
Yeah, that's luck.
That's just like, again, that's just like, that. This is a false sense of reality right there, because it's the point. That's like 0.01% of people that hit this, that deemed money or success that people want to idolize around because this one person did it. So automatically it gives them the right to make it that way. Well,
that's funny because we haven't done this yet. Here's the definition for reality: the world or state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to the idealistic idea of them. So it's like you want you want to win the lottery, right? Oh, I could do it. I buy a ticket. I could win it. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas I grew up, I live in a small town. There's no way the winning ticket is in this town. You know what I mean?
Right.
As my dad proceeds to buy one.
Again, like, you never know. Like, again, that's just straight luck, you know, like, you know, like, if people put their faith in their money and time where they want to, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just goes into, like, yeah, like, that sense of reality just comes into whatever you want or what you think you want is just, there's this work in between.
Yeah. And I think that's some of why I still so-called work as hard as I do is because I still have that dream or goal.
Yeah.
Once you hit one, it's possible to hit the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you also create new ones along the way. So at some point, most people get told, hey, maybe you should switch this up. Maybe you're not good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's your choice whether you listen or not.
Right. And again, it gets back to my quote is like, are you going to take your feedback from society or are you going to take back feedback from your reality?
Yeah.
So again, like that just plays a part in it.
I think about that too because I think about it both ways. Working out a couple weeks ago, I was like, there's no way I will ever be able to do CrossFit. I'm dying right now. And there's some days that people are like, are you sure you want to keep kicking type of deal? Then I go out and kick and it's like, yeah, I want to keep kicking. Like, although it sucks I'm not on the team, there's no way I'm not good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that sense all the time. And then I try to put faith into it too. Like when I'm reflecting, if it's worth doing or trying to do, you know?
You like kicking?
Yeah, dude. I have some great ideas with kicking. Like to have like businesses around kicking that I think would be great for like free agents. Like have a little like circuit type deal. And literally like I love just going. Like the worst days are game days because you barely get to go on the field. My favorite part of game day.
It's free.
Free games. Because you get like the sense of the game coming up, the adrenaline's starting to go, and you just get to go out there and just keep kicking. That's so fun.
And then you're like, okay, we can go home now.
Yeah, then it's like I'm out here and I can be on the field 2 times in 4 hours. You know what I mean?
But that's when your team's counting on you too. Is that 2 times?
Yeah, it is.
People have an expectation that you're going to complete your job.
It is cool to be like on the field and then like you get the one shot. Can you have the precision and the accuracy and the power to do it?
Yeah.
And when you do it, it's awesome. It feels great to celebrate with your teammates. Awesome. You miss it, might be the worst feeling in the world. I mean, it's such a I feel both of them.
Again, like it was just so relatable to like the work. So I don't know, to like to like coworkers as well. Like
oh yeah.
And we're like walking into a meeting and I like have an expectation that you're gonna knock out of the park and then walking out and you hit or missed it, like whatever happens, and just having like honestly that reality, and then you got to adjust and that audit whatever comes in to play, whatever happened, make adjustments, pivot,
well, move
forward.
I think doing is the best way to like get your reality. Like for me, I base a lot of my life off sports and stuff, right?
Right.
So when I'm working out, like we were just talking about, that's when I get my sense of reality. Where am I at? Realistically, what am I doing? And you can't always, like today, for instance, I was doing an overhead squat, which I don't do a lot. And I was thinking, all right, comparing myself to the CrossFit Games athletes, so I had to do a 1 rep max, where would I be? Because I did 4 sets of 5 today. Or 5 sets of 4, I mean.
4 or 5. That was your own one set.
No, that'd probably be the best in the world. It hurts your wrist a lot. But I was thinking, okay, be realistic. On your best day, you could probably I probably went about 90% of my max today for overhead squat. And I was like, I could probably hit 10 more pounds if I needed to do 1 set of 4. So I was pretty fresh today, especially according to my Whoop. And then I thought about, all right, you say 10 pounds per rep, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that. So I was like, I could probably do that. So I came up with a realistic max, what it would be. And then you just got to live with it. You know what I mean? In college, I would always I had like a goal that I wanted to hit for my weights, and I would kind of be like, oh, I'm so close. I'll just jump it up 10 more pounds. I'll be fine. Whereas in all reality, I wouldn't be able to get it. So you really you can't be like embarrassed where you're at. You know what I mean? Because you are where you are. You can't skip steps for reality. Reality, you can't skip it. Because at some point it's going to come back to bite you. So I really get that sense working out.
Yeah.
And then talking to people.
Yeah.
I think if you can talk, because they're going to tell you, again, what they see with the quote, it's you take it or don't take it. But those people closest to you are probably going to be usually, I mean, you know you best, but your people around you are going to have some sort of say.
I agree and disagree with that statement too.
I might have said
I
it
think
kind of bad, actually. Because
Yeah.
you're going to agree on the part that I actually agree with you on, so I just didn't say it well. I already know it.
Yeah, because I mean, the only thing I would disagree with that is that, again, like people have their own perspectives of things, and on top of that, people are gonna want
What they want.
Yeah. So like if they see you, again, like people see you progressing and kicking and all that,
And they don't live your life too, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so
only
like, or they're missing out on that opportunity, like they wouldn't go pro, and so they see you still having an opportunity or a chance to go, so you're like, oh, you should stop kicking,
Yeah.
or like you're not good enough. Like look at this one kicker, he's better than you here and there.
Or they see you one day and you might not have
your
your
best.
best.
You miss and you're like, see, like you're not good enough. Like again, like that, just taking that like feedback is like people are just there to hate because either they don't like their life or they're struggling in there. This is a reflection of them. Or on the other side, I mean, they could be like, oh, you're the greatest kicker in the world.
Which is great for confidence, man.
Right? But at the same point, like, you have to also take that in consideration, too, of, like, of that feedback as well. Like, I mean, again, you have to be kind of like you can hear feedback and you can take in that feedback, but you have to understand, you're in your own position because you know where you're at.
Yeah, and that's so funny because I was helping a kid kick the other week, and he's young, and he's like, I'm gonna go to the NFL and this and that. And I was like, dude, let's think about like varsity football, college football, then see where you're at. I was like, you know how many other kids are where you're at right now? Like it's just a big pool of blah. You don't know who's good. You're so young, nothing matters right now. It's like the kid who wins state in 4th grade wrestling.
But
who cares? Like you, in the moment, you're like, it's big, but really nobody gives a crap.
But it's awesome, even to this point.
It's nice to dream.
Yes, exactly.
I totally agree.
Again, but then you have to have that sense of what not, I don't want to say like what's achievable, but like what I'd say what's achievable, and that because I mean like when I was younger, I would say I wanted to run a marathon in the Olympics. Yeah, I mean, and then I grew up, and then I became like a high schooler, and I was like, never in a day in my life I want to run a marathon for the Olympics.
It's easy to say it until you have to do it, and it's like, wow, this is way hard. You get a mad respect for those people. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And yeah, it just goes into like that was something like I dreamed about. I dreamed and like wanting, it was like a goal of mine to run in the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And then I got older and I was like, this is actually something I don't want to do. Like, cause I'm like, I just switched streams. Yeah. And then it came soccer, and then soccer hit, and then
you can always change your dream, but you can't ever change reality.
Yeah. And
you can change your reality with time and effort, but reality, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
And then, but if it's something you want to do, like if it's actually something you can actually achieve and you want to do, like you really got to go out there and put yourself on the line every day.
Yeah. The only thing, cause I still struggle with reality versus dreams type stuff. The only thing I've learned if you want your dreams to become so-called reality, the only way to do it is to work at it.
Yeah. If you're not working at it, you're just sliding. If
you work at it, there's always a slim. Depends on how high. If it's realistic, go. I mean, there's totally opportunity. If it's trying to be an Olympic marathon runner when you're 7, I mean that's a lofty goal. Mm-hmm. So when you're 12, 18, 22, well, 22, you're probably doing it. But are you in the realm? Or are you further away? You know, and at some point you got to be realistic with your emotions and your ability. Be like, where am I now? And that's the hard part, is letting that emotion that's so strongly engraved in you. Obviously, yours wasn't as strong as mine is because I'm still trying to do it. But
yeah, again, it faded away because I was like, I had different goals once I got older, and I kind of like saw the world in a bigger perspective. Mm-hmm. My goals changed, my perspective changed, because when I was little, like when you're younger, you only your perspective isn't that big.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree.
And so like the older you get, the more like you're able to understand yourself, know yourself, and be able to see a bigger perspective upon the world and what you actually are like, your goal, like what your goals are, what you're good at, what you're like actually like, I don't want to say destined, but like
Called to do.
yeah, and that and what you actually see like your actual abilities are like, and that
I think that's my other problem.
yeah, is that like my like
I'm too stubborn. I'm too stubborn.
Like like I never thought about being a lineman ever.
Well,
And that, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't ever built that way.
yeah.
And that like
That's when you really have a false sense of reality. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you're 5'1", like 90 pounds, and you're like, I want to be an offensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah.
No, why don't you go play receiver or running back?
And that,
or corner.
Yeah. But again, like
who's that to tell you can't do it? You can grow.
Exactly. What's the movie? Greater. Great movie.
Yeah.
If you've not seen a movie Greater, it's great.
Or Invincible. Invincible is also in that.
True. But Greater, I haven't seen Invincible in such a long time. And Greater is great. More relevant. Yeah. Explain the plot of Greater because I think it plays a lot into this.
I was gonna do it. I honestly don't remember the Greater one.
Anyway, so he
it's football though, right?
So he's a high schooler. He's a senior high school.
He gets hit, car. I don't want to give it away. Car one.
I'm just gonna explain what I remember.
Okay.
Anyway, so he's told that he's not big enough to be like an offensive line for the.
We're talking about the same movie.
Yeah, he's not totally big enough. So he goes over, he buys candy from.
Yeah. Starts getting big.
And anyway, gets big, like too big. And then he goes to college. He plays at Ole Miss or
yeah. Ole Miss is Blindside.
No, what is it then?
I think this one Mississippi State or Georgia or something like. It might be Georgia.
Not Georgia.
Arkansas.
I think it's
Arkansas. It's SEC. I know.
Yeah.
I think it's Arkansas. Could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure though. Pretty sure their team was red.
Anyway, so I guess and anybody, it doesn't matter. He goes to D1 school. He's too big, and then so he works, and then I don't think he plays until his senior year.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then his senior year, no, he does play.
Junior
starts, and then he doesn't, and then he wants to go professional.
It might have been Alabama.
It wasn't Alabama.
Okay, whatever.
I would know if he said it, but it's not. Anyway, so then he's like told, everyone's telling him like you'll never go, and then anyway, yes, this does happen. Now I'm thinking about the ending. Yeah. So then he ends up making it to like pros. After everyone in his entire life says he wasn't big enough. He was too big. He wasn't good enough. He was too religious. He didn't have the speed and
but then again, he worked towards it the whole time.
Yeah.
And he genetically had the capability of doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but again, like that came through. Like he persevered through everyone saying that, everyone telling him what they thought was true.
But that's why I keep going because
Because
I have the capacity to do it. You know what I mean?
Saying. It's like,
that's why my false reality. I'm too stubborn to quit.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people believe too much in what other people say to them.
Yeah, I have a friend.
People put faith and belief in so much in what people are saying. They get discouraged based on one comment or one event that they give up on their true dreams or their true goals because of one person or one thing that happened, and continuously like again, it's just you have to have that fortitude and attitude that like you're going to commit to what you committed to what you want, what you need.
Totally agree. Because when I was younger, I like write my journal, you know. And I used to write down everybody who told me I couldn't do it. And then I was going to win the Heisman Trophy. That was my goal. And yeah, see, again, false reality.
I thought it was false reality.
As a kicker, I was going to play corner and kicker.
There we go.
So I was going to win the Heisman Trophy. Kind of like now Kinnick did. Anyways, then I was going to have my Heisman speech. I was going to say thanks to all these people. And then I learned I don't want to say their names because that gives them the credit, you know. But I'm just very stubborn. I think about this all the time. Reality, I struggle with my stubbornness, reality, dreams, goals, and just being real. In the workout area, I suck at that. But real life and money and how things might happen, I'm bad at assuming. And I always think the grass is greener, so that makes it worse. But I would say in that aspect, I'm pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think reality is just a very tough, maybe it's just me. I think it's super tough to think about reality. And some of it is you don't want to, because some of it's hard to grasp or hard to swallow.
Yeah. A lot of people want to escape it.
Yeah. And that's, again,
Yeah, so that's why.
Think about, we were talking about this on Saturday, at least I was with somebody. No, I think it was us. Think about like people who, no, it wasn't you. Never mind. People who are depressed, people who have mental health issues. Their reality is so messed up. They either think everything's bad or they think they have to use drugs. You know what I mean? If you could just do like, talk to somebody, go work out, find a friend, have a dog. Right. All that might not solve everything, but it's steps to support you to get you back to reality and then get you thinking on the right path and making the right choices. Way easier said than done.
Yeah. I was like, you say that. And
yeah, because try being in that sense is hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to make it seem like it's easy because it's definitely not. And it's hard to, again, I said the first episode, the hardest thing that I think I've thought about in life is how to change people's view.
Right. I think it just goes through showing, just continuously doing.
Yeah, and everything takes time and process, which goes back to the work.
And again, you never have to convince someone of something. It's just through your own conviction. And if it's something true, and then there's something like is good in per se, and then that eventually like people will catch on or understand it. In that sense, like you just have that conviction of that, like what you believe in, like what you know to be true, or know. I don't want to use true because true is a tough word, but to believe is like the right way per se, or right thing, or right direction, or whatever, and that, or whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. And that, like, you just have to have conviction in yourself, and then eventually people will jump on board, or they're not. Like it's not, like, again, like it's never up to anyone to change someone's mind. Yeah. It's on them. It's on yourself and on who you are. That it's what you want to believe and what you're gonna believe. Yeah. Now, can you be? I want to say persuade, but because that's just actually the conviction of like who you are, and that if I want to be like persuade in that to kicking, so say you're persuading me into like kicking, and that, or switching brands from like Adidas to Nike, and that just by you like loving Nike, wearing Nike, showing off Nike, and that like I'm gonna see it, understand it, and question it, and then I'm gonna want to dive deeper into it, like why do you like it? Then why does someone else like it? Why is someone else wearing it? All this and stuff, and all that. So again, like it just goes through conviction of like who you are and who you want to be. Then it will persuade people. Yeah. That's all I got, boss.
Me too.
I'm ready to go into the challenge.
Yeah, let's go for it. You can say it.
Say everything around here.
You got it.
I'll tell you what. The challenge this week is we're just gonna dive back into reflection, into like audit yourself, and that to like what your goals are, where you're at, either in your work life, your relationships, your day-to-day, how much time you spend on your phone, how much time you spend on Netflix, how much time you spend about working out. Just audit yourself and see if that's in line with your goals, your vision, your values, and
is it real? Is it realistic?
Yeah.
Are you living reality or in a fantasy world, good or bad?
Right? There we go. That's the challenge for the week.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. I feel like we audited ourselves tonight. I did, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
socials?
yeah. Follow us at the kitchen table _pod for our Instagram. The YouTube is the kitchen table _pod.
Just the kitchen table.
Oh, the kitchen table. Okay.
And that we'll link it.
Yeah, we'll link it. Follow me, A_Eartham17.
And the Taylor.Patton, TAYLER.PATTEN. Austin looked at me funny. Like I
always think there's a 6 on it because your Gmail or whatever.
If you want to email me, it's gmail.com.
Anyways, thanks for listening to us. Don't forget, we got 1440 on Thursday. We'll talk more about reality. Hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Talk to you later.
Have a great week. Love you. Bye.
All right, you want to jump into the 1440 here since you want to stop it all or what?
I'll stop this one, but we can. Or I can stop this one or start it.
Yeah, just stop it all. We'll get this one going here. I'll upload these and then